Hello people, welcome back to Exams A to Z YouTube channel. So today we are going to discuss the solutions for the FERC mock test, which is even online now. If you haven't attempted the test, you can always go back and call us and register your name and attempt the mock test, so that with these solutions you will get an idea of how the quality of questions will be, and so that you can join the Group 2 online test series program of Exams A to Z. So quickly let us begin the solutions. So before I start up the solutions, if you people have not known about this Group 2 online test series, let me give you a glimpse of it. Like from 19th April onwards, on every Sunday, we'll be providing you the login details. At your home step itself, you can just attempt the test in both in English and Telugu language. The total number of tests will be 34, with which you can practice around 5,100 questions, which will make your Group 2 examination qualification as well as your name into your final list will be confirmed with these kind of a practice sessions with the online test series, right guys? So if you haven't attempted the mock, even it is now online, you can just get back, attend your mock test by calling us and registering your name on this number. Both in English and Telugu it's available, and the registration fee for the actual program of 34 tests is 999. Once you get a handover approach on the free mock test, you can just decide on whether to join or not, because the highlight of the program is nothing but it is an add-on that you will get the motivation, personal guidance as well as monitoring by the people at Exams A to Z. People are already into services, so they'll be able to guide you and betterly monitor your performances. So that is how this program is unique and innovative in its own sense. So do check out the mock test, and after that just come back to this video and check out for the solutions. So the first question, I am not giving you the question numbers because every other person you will have different set of jumbled questions. So I'll just discuss the question paper pattern, like which portion are you have to focus more and where the questions have been dealt with, because everybody of us will be reading the same Lakshmikant book, right? And how effectively you have to read it and how the questions are framed right away from the examination point of view from your own textbooks has been mentioned through these slides which I have mentioned here. These are the extracts from your Lakshmikant pages itself, which will evidently show you like what kind of questions we have asked and from where we have picked up. So okay, the first question goes like this: which of the following is not regarded as the main basic elements of basic features of the constitution? So if you see, this has been extracted from the Lakshmikant. It has some 20 points according to the Supreme Court, who says that these form the basic structure of constitution, out of which you can see the rule of law is mentioned, is already mentioned, is the judicial review, you also have the free and fair elections. What is not mentioned is fundamental duties, so that forms the answer. Coming to the next question, the main advantage of the presidential form of government. You have many other options. You always know that what difference is parliamentary and presidential is lacking is that there is a separation of power between the legislature and executive. In the case of the presidential form of government, which is very well mentioned here, if you see, the legislative, executive, judicial powers of government are separated, with the point is mentioned in the features of presidential form of government, which is mentioned here, and that forms your answer, direct answer. That these are some of the questions which will give you, like, you need not think over it, you need not eliminate from the options, you just have to click on by just studying the actual portions from the textbook. The next question is about the citizenship, the constitutional provisions and the Citizenship Act. These are some of the portions which you have to read for answering these questions. So the first question is that 26 November 1949, before that any person is available present in India, domiciled in India, will always be the citizen, because this provision here, it identifies the persons who became before its commencement of the constitution, right? And then citizenship was amended 5 times. This is also absolutely true. But the third statement, if you see, the citizenship is given by terms of acquiring the citizenship by birth, descent, registration, naturalization and incorporation of any territory. So there are many ways of acquiring your citizenship. You can obtain the citizenship in many forms, not just by the birth itself. So this forms the wrong part, and 1 and 2 will be the answer for this question. So this slide mentions about the Article 51A. According to this, which of the following is a fundamental duty? So list of the fundamental duties have been mentioned here. It's a direct question. These are some of the direct factual questions. You have to answer it right. So these are some of the other questions present on the slide. The first question refers to the fundamental rights. These are absolute rights. No, these are qualified in nature. They come with some of the restrictions. These are justiciable. This is the right option. The third option says that confined to citizens only. No, there are always rights which are also mentioned for the friendly aliens. And then comes the fundamental rights are amended. No, because they form the basic structure. That is why they cannot be amended as per the will of the legislature. So by even eliminating the options, you can just answer the right question. Right. The second question here in the slide is about the Indian federalism, which is a direct answer. Like you can just go and mark the fourth option by just reading it on the first instance itself, because no states have no freedom to secede or separate from the union, which forms the content of the federalism point of view of India is that we stand united. That is why we follow the unity in diversity principle. This is the option which refers to the Indian federalism. While the other options, if you see, a result of an agreement, we did not form any kind of an agreement. It is by the choice and the will of the people that we are into the Indian Federation. Then Parliament cannot alter the boundaries, but it can. The same thing happened with the Andhra Pradesh and Telangana's alteration of the boundaries also. It need not alter the boundaries with the consent only. Without the consent also, by the procedures of the simple majority also, the parliament can alter the boundaries. And next comes, according to the Rajya Sabha's seat, it is based on the proportional representation of the population. So that is why states will be not given equal representation at Rajya Sabha. According to the population, the number of seats have been allocated. So this forms the answer for this question, which is D. Let's see some of the important definition regarding the republic. These questions have been repetitive in SSC, RRB, and there are many other exams. Okay, the same question comes in, like what is the actual definition of a republic? If you see the extract that has been taken from the Lakshmikant book, it says that the thing is that two things republic means. One is that you are vesting the political sovereignty only in people and not on one person like a king or some individual. So it's like citizens are open to go and occupy any of the public position, and the republic head of your state is elected. He is not nominated, or he doesn't come as a monarch, but he is elected. That is why the first option forms a very relevant answer for this question. Like citizens can occupy any of the office without any discrimination. That is what is mentioned as the definition to be a republic, the true essence of the republic. Yet another brilliant two questions from the preamble portion, which you must have easily done it, but the other you must have have an idea like is it right or not, because most of the people will read these extracts from the book, but this portion is neglected. This is the most important portion, that preamble actually signifies that it is not giving you a source of power to the legislature, or it is not stopping the legislature to make any kind of a laws, and it is not justiciable as well as not enforceable in any court of law. So these are the two important provisions according to which this question has been framed. So all of the options which is mentioned here are right, and this forms the basic definition, basic background of what preamble is actually about. It is not stopping any legislature, nor it is giving it superpower authority, and it is not justiciable at the law courts, right? That is one of the question. And the next question says that which of the following justices, according to the justices, that has been not mentioned in the preamble. So preamble, if you see the we the people of India, sovereign, socialist, secular, with justice of social, economic and political justice only is mentioned here. So gender justice is not mentioned in this portion of preamble. Just remember that, and just have a view of what kind of equality that it is willing to have of status and opportunity, and then it is wanting the fraternity among the dignity of the individual as well as unity and integrity, which was adopted on 26th of November of 1949, which is very important. So have a basic idea about these slides as well. The next slide is very well important because it is about the Dhar Commission and JVP committee which was established, and JVP as well as the Fazal Commission which was established for the reorganization of the states. And what each one of them met is already mentioned in your textbook, guys. You just have to remember that. In Dhar Commission, if you see Dhar and JVP committee, they have mentioned something like, based on the administrative convenience, reorganize the states rather than on linguistic factor. So this forms the wrong answer. And then Fazal Ali committee, what it has said is, it rejected one state, one language policy. It rejected, the line is just lifted from here, guys. So that is why I tell you that your textbook reading has to be so integrated, so smartly done, dealt with, so that you can answer questions in a one go with not lot of confusion. So the answer for this question is directly with this option which is mentioned here from the textbook portion itself. And Fazal Ali did not accept it, said that it accepted, but based on one language one state policy it is not accepting. So the answer for this question is C. So guys, here comes the important other two questions which are very simple and basic in nature. You must have marked it right. So I'll not go into details about it, but referring to it, like every judge of the Supreme Court is appointed by the President of India. Because here you might be confused, like Supreme Court might have been appointing all these judges. But the information is that collegium is established to select the kind of judges and the Chief Justice, but the appointment is finally done by the President of India. That is important. And the next question, if you see that RTI is mandating for timely response to the citizens' request, very well done. Sarathi is a Maharashtrian initiative. Just for your kind information, I wanted to refer this question because through these kind of MCQs, you need to learn the extra information background behind some initiative that comes in the examination, right? For that purpose only this question has been designed. And the fourth option says that the RTI amendment attempts to take over the powers. Yes, they are trying to limit the tenure and service conditions of the Central Information Commissioners also. So this forms the basic understanding background and the current affairs linkage. But the second option is wrong because RTI comes under the Ministry of DOPT, Personal and Internal Affairs Training Department. So this doesn't come under the legal affairs. So this is the important point. RTI doesn't come under that department. So this you have to remember. I hope this question have made you at least think on the grounds of what the RTI would constitute about, and you must have referred the textbooks also after getting back from the test. So that is what is intended through this test series, guys. This is the information, extra information is being provided, as well as your brainstorming has also been done well during the examination. So next portion is about the DPSP. There were two questions which were mentioned in the examination. So according to that, if you see the next slide, I'll have mentioned all of the DPSPs and what it is constituting about. But the basic thing here to understand is that what doesn't constitute a DPSP. If you see agriculture and animal husbandry, this is something about the Gandhian philosophy. Then you can see separation of judiciary and executive according to the Article 50, and monuments and protection for importance of national importance objects protection and preservation is again Article 49A of DPSP. So what doesn't it constitute is, it is mentioning, DPSP actually mentions the Uniform Civil Code according to Article 44, and this protection of personal law is against the Article 44. That is why this option is wrong. And then you come to the provisions which are not added. There were some provisions like which were added later by 42nd and 44th Amendment Act to the DPSPs. So that those provisions have been mentioned here. Which of the provisions were not added by the 42nd Amendment Act? Let's see this point of view from the next slide so that you can understand and relate it well. So here in this slide, it's mentioned already that 42nd Amendment Act, this has been taken from your Lakshmikant book only itself, guys. So that is why these portions which are mentioned at the later part of the chapter are being asked in the questions in the question format in the examination. So do focus on these portions also. The new directive principles according to the 42nd Amendment Act are 39 of development of children, healthy development of children, 39A of equal free legal aid, then 43A of securing the participation of workers, 48A of environment. But what is the actual question that was asked in your examination is about 44th Amendment Act has added that minimizing the inequalities of income and status according to Article 38 has been added by 44th and not 42nd. So this forms your answer to the previous question. And some of the liberal principles have been mentioned here, like the protection of environment, then education for all the children of age of 6 years. Then you also have a uniform civil code under the liberal policy. So when the securing uniform civil code comes, your personal law protection will be going away. So that is the answer for the previous question also. You can just relate it. This is how you have to study. The questions now are being framed from the static, basic as well as the medium and tough levels also. So to align your preparation towards the direction, you need to join some test series and have a handover approach before you enter into the main examination hall, so that your mind and the brainstorming gets tuned to the pattern of the examinations. So that forms the basic understanding of the DPSPs. This slide is a very basic slide about the scheduling. So schedules 1 to 12, there are 12 schedules, and what each one of them signifies is very important. With union and territories 1, second is about the salaries, oaths and affirmations with 3, 4 mentions the seats allotted for the Rajya Sabha, 5 mentions the scheduled areas, whereas 6, which was asked in the question about the AMTM, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram, what is it the provisions that are guiding it, under which schedule? It is the 6th schedule, because the 6th schedule here you can directly see this is what the question has been asked from. The rest of the schedules also just have a quickly glance over it, so that any of the examination portion they might ask, because you already know that 11th schedule mentions the Panchayati Raj, 12th with the municipalities, 9th with some kind of 9th which was added by first constitutional amendment that deals with the land reforms and zamindari systems. Well, 8 mentions the languages and 7 mentions the your 3 list, union, center, state and concurrent list. So these are the some of the provisions. You just have to just glance whenever the discussion goes on. We'll make sure that the chapter is revised through these sessions, so that you need not go back and spend a lot of time in revising. This is a series which we are designing in a pattern which will make your studies more enhanced and easier. This slide is another important question which is frequently occurring and frequently being asked also in SSC and many of the examinations too, as well as in group 2 also. So the VVPATs, which is that the verifiable paper audits systems, have been first taken from the slide itself mentions the Nagaland is held, that was held in 2013, the elections, the by-election which was first time held, and there VVPATs were the first time they were used. The next basic question, because the issue of anti-defection has been into the news due to the Sikkim, Maharashtra, then your Karnataka elections. Many of the elections have happened in recent times and this news has been frequently occurring. So based on that, a question has been framed. Yet a very simple question. If you have studied this in Lakshmikant, the deciding authority will be your chairman in case of Rajya Sabha, speaker in case of Lok Sabha. That has been mentioned here. That Supreme Court in some case also has mentioned that this idea or this judgment of the speaker will always be under the scrutiny of the law. So that is another important issue which you can negate your B and C statement because of this. And there has been no time frame also mentioned here for the speaker to decide on the anti-defection provisions. But the first option forms the actual right answer, that the question of disqualification based on the anti-defection comes under the purview of your speaker. Speaker, who is the presiding officer of the house, will decide the authority of anti-defection disqualification. So that is the important question. Here is another important question. Usually, like in amendment of the constitution provisions, you usually just ignore this portion, but this is very important. Like, you can actually amend the constitution based on 3 provisions. One is a simple majority, next is a special, next the third portion is about special majority with half of the ratification of the states. So the 3 methods, and this question is basically asking you a very basic thing, that by simple majority by both the houses of parliament, what are the provisions that cannot be amended? So if you see, you can establish new states, then form a new states, create legislative councils, second schedule, quorum, salaries, privileges, English language, use of English language, then jurisdiction of the Supreme Court and official language. These are the only provisions by simple majority you can do it, where all these 3, all the other 2 options have been mentioned here. Whereas the election of president, you just cannot do it with a simple majority, because this is an office where you require the ratification of the states as well. That is why this is not through a simple majority portions. So that is important discussion here. Now a very basic question which I thought, there are some mix of the questions like easy, tough and medium. This comes under the easy category. This says that Article 352 mentions what? And these emergency provisions, which is the salient features of our Indian constitution, mentions that 352 belongs to the national emergency on war or external aggression, and then state emergency under president rule of Article 356, 360 under the financial emergency. So the answer to this question is directly national emergency. So here is a portion about the CAG. CAG is a constitutional body. So the independence of the CAG is mentioned with not giving him any kind of a service condition later after he demits his office, like after he leaves his office, after his retirement, he is not eligible for any other further employment. So that is the question that has been asked, and this is not right here. So this third option is not right, whereas the other options, like he is appointed by president, yes, he is provided under the seal of the president, he enjoys under his confidence. Until the confidence of president is there, he enjoys his office, and then he is neither his salary or rights cannot be any time cannot be altered any time, and the conditions, everything will be prescribed by the president itself. So all the other portions have been mentioned here are right, except for the third option, where it says that he is not eligible for any other office after his retirement. So guys, another 2 questions which are very easy, moderate level. Like first, the question is about which is not correct about the parliament. Parliament do consist about president, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Many of you might have got confused here itself, like president, does he constitute the parliament? Because he is not a member, he is not being elected in any of the houses, right? How is a member? But yes, The parliament do consists about the president, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. This forms the first line of your Lakshmikant textbook, which mentions the chapter parliament. It is mentioned right away in the first paragraph. Next comes the no nominated members. This is utterly wrong, because you know that president can nominate always members from the Anglo-Indian community, and there are many nominated members that are mentioned in Rajya Sabha as well. So nominated members are a portion that is mandatory in Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. So this forms the wrong option. Then Rajya Sabha is a permanent house, so it cannot be dissolved. It is permanent. That, so this option is right. And then comes the third option, some of the members of Rajya Sabha are nominated by the president, which is also right. So the second option is incorrect, so that is forms the answer. Next question is about the Sarkaria Commission. Even if you haven't read the main provisions of what Sarkaria Commission was representing, these two will suffice in any of the examination. Like most of the examination, this question is asked. Like governor should be from outside the state itself, and then 356 should only be used as a exceptional cases, not regularly. So these are the two provisions. That's why the answer is both 1 and 2, which have been mentioned by the Sarkaria Commission, which mentioned the position and the constitutional status of the governors as such. So as we have already dealt a previous question like simple majority, which of the provisions cannot be done away with the simple majority in the parliament of both the houses. Here next question is that amendment of constitution, where do you require ratification of half of the states? So here in this slide I have just extracted some of the provisions where you need special majority along with the consent of the states. What are the provisions? By election of the president, then Supreme Court and High Court, extent of the power of the states, then you have some 7th schedule, GST, some of the representation of the states in parliament, amending the power of 368 itself, the article. So all of the provisions that are mentioned here, if you see, all of the provisions do come under the ratification of the states, by which special majority of parliament as well as the ratification, more than half of the percentage of the states have to give their consent, based on which this amendment is possible. So all of the options form, the answer is all of the above. So here this slide is very important, guys. These questions are something which will make you think every now and then. So I have just mentioned that what is the actual positive concept of secularism. Let's go by options and try to eliminate and answer these questions when you don't have the background information. So the first thing it says that state keeps an arm length. Do you think that state doesn't give minority institutions any funding or any kind of a preservation or conservation efforts? Like it gives a Hajj subsidy also for the Muslim people to go and visit the Mecca, right? So all these provisions say that state is not actually at an arm distance. It is actually involving in any other religions equally. It is trying to protect every other religion equally, which is mentioned in the option B, which is the right option. Let's see the other two options also. So state never interferes in the religious matters. Is that true? It will interfere if it is threatening the national sovereignty and integrity of the nation. And the fourth option, just because secular word is mentioned in preamble, does it say that we believe in secularism? This is just a haphazard statement that has been given, that doesn't define your secularism concept as such. As such, this statement is right, that secular provision, that secular word is mentioned in preamble, but that doesn't mean that it is mentioning about the secularism which is a concept of your constitution. So this fourth option is also wrong, and that is why the only B option, which is mostly related to the question, is right answer to this question. Next comes your scope of judicial review, where you can see the first option says that the power of judiciary to question the wisdom is enacted by legislatures. It is not questioning every other wisdom of the legislatures or something like that. It is actually protecting the supremacy of the constitution. It doesn't overpower any of the legislative laws. It is only says that whatever you make, that should be in spirit and right spirit of the constitution. So this is the right option. Let us see the other two options also. The power of judiciary is to, before any assent of the president itself, it will give a judgment on legislative enactment. It is really wrong. If you see the Aadhaar bill, which was introduced as a money bill also, after it has been passed and enacted and given the president assent, after that Supreme Court has taken up the course, not before it. So this option is totally wrong. And then comes the fourth option, power of judiciary to review its own judgments. It is not a judicial review. Judicial review is about the legislative enactments and knowing if it is actually in spirit of the constitution, if it is protecting the basic structure, if it is protecting the supremacy of the constitution or not, and not rather it is not about the reviewing its own judgment, it is the wrong option. So the most relevant option to this question is, and the right option, relevant and right option is option B. So this finishes your polity 25 questions that have been asked in the mock test, guys, and the other questions are subsequently coming in the videos. We thought every other subject should be mentioned in each video so that it will be easier for you to also revise with. So the people who haven't attempted the free mock or you're still willing to write it, please do call us and register your name so that this free mock test is live today. You can always mention your details, and by calling us on this number, we'll give you the login details. You just have to attempt the test at your home place, and then you come back to the solution videos, which is always available in the YouTube channel also. And after this, from 19th April, we are starting this session of Group 2 online test series every Sunday, 150 questions both in English and Telugu medium. Total number of tests of 34, 5,100 questions will be practiced, and that is what will make you get into the list of the Group 2 final list, which the exam will be held in near future. And the highlights of the program: motivation, personal guidance are the add-ons, because all the people working here are into services, will be able to better monitor you and motivate you and guide you in further process of Group 2 attainment of your name in the list. So stay tuned, guys, for the other videos that we are going to post on for the solutions for the mock test series. So until then, stay tuned. Happy learning.